Hello everyone, we're going to be making some Moin Moin today with some cowpeas. I'm using a red variety of cowpeas. Some people call them red African beans because I would like to use the peel in my recipe. Normally for this recipe, traditionally we would just peel the cowpeas, especially the white cowpeas. But I learned this online from Ninja Foodie to be able to maximize the fiber. You can also just soak red African beans overnight and then blend with some peppers, some onions. I have the full recipe written down in the description box below. But the reason why I wanted to talk about cowpeas today was when I was doing the research, I was like, this is a superfood. Like, moi moi is a superfood. I'm sorry, like, if you're into like superfoods or eating healthy or trying to maximize your plate, moi moi is such a good way to do it. So if we look at the nutrition of black-eyed peas, right? You have 1 cup contains about 13 grams of protein, about 35 grams of carbs, and 11 grams of fiber, and folate is about 88% of your daily needs. And then you get copper 50%, you get thiamine, you can even get some iron, you get some phosphorus, you get some magnesium, some zinc, some potassium, some vitamin B6, selenium, riboflavin, like in just black-eyed peas. And I'm like, wow, we should really be eating this all the time. This is a superfood. But anyways, research has also shown that if you eat beans regularly or like legumes, you get like a 23% lower risk of increased belly fat for those who are trying to cinch up their waist. And you also have a 22% lower risk of obesity compared with people who do not eat beans. I'm going to link the study below, and I just thought that was really interesting. Apart from just like the other nutrients I've mentioned, black-eyed peas are also high in polyphenols. These are antioxidants. So usually when I think about antioxidants, I always think about blueberries and all of that, but beans are also high in antioxidants. And, sometimes when we see a food that we always eat all the time, we're just kind of, we get used to it and we take it for granted. And I'm like, I should not take beans for granted. Beans is going to be like the new superfood in my house. I mean, we normally eat it already, so I'm glad for some people. But here, I've already seasoned my moi moi that I've blended. The key to this is making sure like the moi moi when you blend it is as fine as you can possibly get it. I add some palm oil. I'm not showing where I'm adding some vegetable oil like olive oil as well. I usually like to mix my palm oil and olive oil. For some people, you don't have to do that. You can just use some oil. It helps. And one of the keys to kind of simplify this dish for me is baking it. Normally, moi moi is like put into tiny containers or like or plastic bags, little ones, and then steamed. I find that process to just be too long, too arduous, and it just turns me off. Like the whole process growing up would be like you peel the beans, and then from peeling it, then you go blend it, and then from blending it, you will come back and then put it in like bags and make sure you oil like the tins that you put it in. And it was just a lot, and the cleanup was also like a lot. I remember just not loving making moi moi. It was just a whole ceremony. But now with the oven type, you can just literally cook a lot of them, and then sometimes what I do is freeze them. Anyway, so here I'm just going to all like these are the ones I use for my toddlers. I got this on Amazon, and I just put the toddlers in there about half. I oiled the container with some palm oil, so that we can have a little bit more of a non-stick effect. And I'm just going to pour it all in and into all the other containers. But there was another study that they did in rural Malawi, and I thought that was interesting, where the trial basically showed that cowpeas, when used as a complementary food, reduce stunting. So in that region, they had kids that weren't really growing well because of poverty or because of lack of proper nutrition. And so they used cowpeas, and they realized that stunting was reduced from 35% to 30% among the children that ate it. And I just thought that was an interesting finding. But yeah, so Another thing to also know about black eyed peas is that soaking them can help you reduce the anti-nutrients. So when we talk about anti-nutrients, we're talking about nutrients that kind of stop or like reduce the absorbability of some minerals. And one of those and cowpeas or beans in general, like things in the beans or legumes, usually have a little bit of anti-nutrients. And so one of the ways to kind of reduce the effect is to soak. And a study found that when you soak and then you cook, that is one of the more effective ways to reduce the phytic acid or the anti-nutrient composition of the food. Boiling reduces like an anti-nutrient like trypsin and enhances digestibility. So you're able to digest the beans better. So here I just put it in different containers. I learned the bottom method is called the roll up. I also learned that from Ninja Foodie. Shout out to her. She is amazing. And I just kind of roll up my moi moi like this using parchment paper. The key is to make sure that you kind of just follow and make sure your moi moi is cooked. Normally in moi moi, traditionally you add some things like maybe some boiled eggs, some fish, or some cut peppers right before you steam them. But usually these days I just kind of stick to like basic moi moi. For me, it's just more about the nutrition. So I just add this to my meals. Sometimes I would just put it with the kids' meals and just add it as a side that they can enjoy. And that's a good way for us to continuously get like legumes and fiber and all this good plant protein in our daily meals. So it's a good way to build the habit of just learning to eat beans. Yeah. But anyways, I'm going to cut up these into like sections and they're really cute. I think they're even cuter when you have like maybe onions or peppers in there. But I have people in this house that do not like to see things like that in their foods. You know, the picky eaters, yeah, they don't like to see some things just showing up. So I just blend them all in and just call it a day. So if you want to make yours a little more spicy, you can add toppings into it. And those toppings, you will add them before you put them in the oven. Look at that cross section. Look at how delicious that looks. My gosh. It looks so amazing. And if you don't want your moi moi super spicy, there literally is no need to add like habaneros or something. I love adding habaneros, and sometimes I have to reduce it because one of my kids is not with the spicy, business. She does not like it. She's like, nah, spice? No, mama, take it away. And my other kid is a spice girl, a true Yoruba girl. So I'm always I'm trying to kind of, I want the other one to really like spice because I like spice and most of the people in my house like spice. And I'm like, I don't want to have to reduce it. But, the things you do as a mother, and this is the muffin. You can also put them in muffin trays. This is a silicone one that I got a while back. And I think one of the reasons why it's stained like this is because some of the oil, when you put it in the oven, it just kind of stains it. So be aware of that when it comes to some of these silicone containers. But yeah, now I have like about a week or 2 weeks of moi moi, depending on how we choose to eat it. So yeah, just from 3 cups of beans. And look at this. Look at this. Look at that shiny, shiny, shiny look. This is from the kids' containers. So I get to add this to their meals and they love it. Anyways, if you end up trying this recipe, let me know if you love it. Have a good rest of your day. Bye.